I don't know that I have too many weeks regarding the Cowboys that I'm not disturbed. There are all kinds of things. About the time it's like holding two handfuls full of jello. And about the time that you stop it from coming out the middle finger by the forefinger, about the time you start it over there, then it starts coming out the other side. And that's what makes this game so great. That's what makes the challenge so great. And you think you've got it figured out, and 2 games later, the defense you face will have had it figured out for you.
That jello analogy, you know? So, Jerry, Shannon, what exactly is Jerry saying here?
Skip, you know, Jerry loves his Jerryisms and those colloquial sayings, but all he had to say, if it's not one thing, it's another. One week it's the offense, the next week it's the defense, and then it could have been, you know, we could have made a 38-yard field goal, get to an opportunity to onside the kick, and then we messed that up special teams wise. But Jerry had, you know, Jerry had to be in Jerry fashion, like holding 2 handfuls of jello. Skip, the thing, but all that being said, and as funny as it may be, that doesn't sound like a man that's confident in his team. True. Does it, Skip?
True.
That doesn't sound like a man confident in the team, because it's the inconsistency that bothers him, Skip. Basically what Jerry's saying, I don't believe I got the right coach for this. That's what he's saying. He says, because look what I was saying. He said, coming into the season, we got a new offensive coordinator, and will Dak progress? Well, Dak has played better than you thought he would play. And all I got to show for it is a 5-4 record. With all this talent, Pro Football Focus said Dallas is the most talented football team. Top to bottom, player for player, offense, defense, special team-wise, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott leads the NFL in QBR. And all I got to show for it is 5-4? Something ain't right. That's what Jerry's saying, Skip Bayless. And you think I like bringing bad news to you?
No.
Well, it's only going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I can only imagine what he's going to say when they're on the precipice of missing the playoffs with like 3 games.
On it right now.
No, I don't want it right now. I don't want it right now. I want them Cowboy fans, those delusional Cowboy fans.
Is he talking about me?
I want you to have your
Is he talking about me?
I want you to think you're going to get what you think you're going to get for Christmas. And when you come downstairs, Santa left you a note.
Nothing worse than
You've been bad. You get jacked. That's what I want to happen to you. That's what I want to happen.
I just had a deja vu moment because I heard
Oh,
exactly
Lord.
the
Here we
same
go.
thing
Here we
across
go.
the table when they were 3-5 a year ago.
Okay.
So,
So you keep.
I even heard it when they were 4-5 after they had gone to win at Philly.
You keep saying that.
I heard it at 5-5, and then 6-5,
Keep thinking that,
and
Jason
7-5,
Garrett.
and 8-5. That's when I heard it.
And then you heard Orlando Scandrick come out here a couple of weeks ago and say the thing with the Eagles is they keep living in the past. They keep thinking that they're that Super Bowl team and they're about to jump on this magic carpet. It ain't happening.
I will give you this. The problem with this Cowboy team, it's living in the future as if we've got this. We're this great. You got to be this great. You can't just think you're going to be that great. So back to the Jello analogy. It's another off-target head scratcher from Jerry because if you actually look at it in the literal sense, Jello's pretty solid. So if I have 2 handfuls of Jello, it's not going to leak through my fingers, I don't think.
No.
If I had 2
Squeeze.
handfuls
You got to
of
squeeze the
super
Jello.
Jello, it would go through your fingers, right?
Jerry didn't
Unless you squeeze it.
that's how you made.
Right?
Jerry didn't let the Jello reach its full potential and just let it put in the
wasn't in
fridge.
their fridge long enough.
Okay.
It's so true.
That's what happens.
No, I think Jerry was thinking of it as like one of those balls you squeeze because you're under pressure, stress balls. Like he's squeezing the Jello so hard it's just squishing through every finger. And you can't plug all the leaks because it's leaking through all crevices in your hand, right? Okay, so we get what he was trying to say because I always know what he's trying to say. It just doesn't make any sense how he's trying to say it.
Speak Jerry. That's good.
I will
Go
give
ahead.
you
Get
this.
to a skip. Get to a
This
skip.
team has been wildly, dangerously inconsistent. Not game to game, quarter to quarter, series to series on both offense and defense. And yet, I'm going to say this again. The only thing this team has had going for it for 9 games is the quarterback. The quarterback has been extraordinary because, as you point out,
You hear that, Kevin Milton? I know you're over there on Facebook right now, ready to troll. Ready to troll. Come on.
Let me go you 2 better. Pro Football Focus now says the Dallas Cowboy receivers are dead last in separation. How many yards? What's the gap between the receiver and the defender when the ball arrives? They are ranked dead last. That
last.
The
you hear that? Last.
For the quarterback is it's the highest.
It might be because the quarterback is late with the ball and is giving the defensive back an opportunity to catch back up.
Here we go.
About that.
No,
here we go, Kevin
the
Milton.
Dallas Cowboys are also tied for second in drops in the National Football League. Tied for second in drops with the least separation. The quarterback is he's having an MVP quality season for a team that's 5-4.
Come on,
so he's
Skip.
not in the
Come
MVP
on,
conversation.
Skip. You ain't. Come on, man.
Quickly
Shit.
disqualified.
Skip.
5-4.
Yeah.
Right?
What about them 8-9 picks?
Okay. Well,
Qualified. No, stop doing that, Skip.
The 2 Hail Marys. This is not okay. You can't be #1 in QBR with picks that really matter. It won't work. So what are the problems? It's not the quarterback. Why are they 5-4? Well, let's start with, shall we, the running back.
Oh,
and
my
again,
God.
I don't want to pile on here, but
you piling
on.
But you
piling on.
Now
Go
ahead,
Skip.
in rush yards.
You mean Zeke?
I'm sorry.
You mean Zeke?
Zeke. 8th in the league in rush yards. He's I was going to make a comparison to Emmitt Smith. Zeke is now 16th in yards per attempt. 16th. This is not my guy.
That's hold on. What's the offensive line, Skip?
Okay,
that's
thank you. I'll give you part. That's part of this equation. That's part of the problem. All those overpaid offensive linemen have been getting their golden tails whipped all too often on too many downs. Yep, all of them. Well, they're not playing up to their level. Because what was Jerry's quote that we just heard? We have outstanding football players. They're not playing outstanding football, right? Are they living? Who's living up to their contract? Well, Dak is, because his is full talent, right?
Okay. He superseded his contract.
Okay. And again, Zeke has fallen to 19th in Pro Football Focus's elusivity rating, the making you miss. So he's 19th.
He's never been that.
But as a rookie, he had some of that going on. And I thought
very little, Skip.
Okay, well, he does. Once he got in the secondary, he could make some miss. So now this brings me to my defense, shall we? The defense is 14th in the league in takeaways. That's not a playoff defense. You know that, and I know that. This team is tied for 16th in turnover differential. They're 0,
which
so they're flat.
Bad.
It's like they're not bad or good.
Whatever they get, the quarterback give it back.
Yeah, okay. They're tied for 18th now in sacks. That won't get you home.
No. They got to be. They should be better than that.
They should be better
Read
than
between
that.
the lines,
And
Skip.
they have plummeted to 19th in time of possession when, remember those good old days back in 2016?
They led the league in time of possession.
Led the league. So what has changed?
Your quarterback.
No Zeke. No Zeke. He could pound away. And what did Dak used to be?
Three,
He used to be,
Jason
you were
Garrett.
disqualified for this, Dink and Dak.
Yep.
He's now 3rd in the league in air distance. So he is throwing the ball, as opposed to what you believe he does, down the field. And when they score, it can be lightning striking. It can be deep strike scoring. So they're not controlling the ball for long drives and keeping the defense off the field the way they used to.
Exactly. So what do we have to do about those first 3 drives when they didn't do anything and the defense had to get on the field?
The first 3 drives, they did a whole lot. They drove into Minnesota territory all 3 times. And what did I tell you? There were 2 plays in a row where Amari fell down. Remember that? And is actually the previous one. Jason Witten hit him right in the hands to move the ball to the 25, and he dropped it.
Skip.
He dropped it.
You know what?
It was a cold drop. They're tied for second in drops.
I used to.
Would you believe Michael Gallup leads the league in drop passes?
First
you like
of all,
that?
No. What I don't like is you talking about, they were moving the ball up and down the field and they got the bit. Skip, look, you know what I did? I stopped going into Harry Winston's and Tiffany's because I couldn't buy Jack. So what good is that, Skip, if you move the ball up and down the field, you can't get the ball in the end zone?
Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up. I'm grabbing the wrong remote. Let's wake up the football gods here. Wake up, everybody, on this Friday night. Man, I literally just got home 30 minutes ago, didn't have dinner. My wife is like, you're doing a show? So understand, my wife hasn't seen me for the last 2 days, and she's like, you're going down to do a show? I said, man, I got to take care of my people. I got to take care of my people. And Jet D, you sent me that email and stuff. I saw that Cracker Barrel. And I was kind of hungry. I said, you know what? It would be kind of cool to slip into that Cracker Barrel, pop in and say, I'm looking for Jet D. and surprise you and stuff. But I said, no, I got to get up the road because, I can spend some time with you, but then all the other people that are here wanting to spread, spend some time and all that, they wouldn't have the opportunity. But I'm hoping that you were serious about coming up to Lucky's on Sunday. Now, that is a 2-hour drive each way, my man. That's a long way to go. And, Lucky's got some pretty good wings and stuff. And, they got some nice-looking waitresses and things. But that's a long way to go. But if you come, make sure you bring some of that brisket you were talking about cooking, okay? Make sure you bring some of that brisket, all right? Trade Zeke. Oh, whoa. Jay, whoa, man. Okay, yeah, I agree with you, Michael Sinclair. Let me, that can get through there. I've got filters on because, now YouTube has sent this whole thing that you now have to make sure that your videos are tagged with either being kid-friendly or not kid-friendly. And if they don't, and it ends up being somehow kids are watching it, the FCC could fine you like $43,000 for each offense. So that's why we got filtered stuff on there. And Jason Garrett, you know what? Jason Garrett, get off the stream. Get off the stream. You need to go. Wait. Jason Garrett, hold on. Jason Garrett, I got something for you. Hold on, Jason Garrett. Damn it, Jason Garrett, making me get up. Where is it? Up, here we go. Dude, I'm going to send this to the star, Jason Garrett. Okay? All right? Just for you. Because apparently you'd have lost your copy I sent you before. Football Coaching for Dummies. Okay? You know what? Jason Garrett, you have been to school. You've been in an apprentice program for 10 years, man. And you still making the same mistakes that you've been making before. You know what? Why don't you look on the other side of the field there, on the defense? Take a look at Chris Richard, okay? You know what? The defense got problems. Some of it is scheme and personnel as far as running the football. Teams understand that the Cowboys don't necessarily man up people one-on-one. They get their pressure on the quarterback by stunting. And what you try to do is you try and catch him in the stunts. I get that. And see, that's where people argue with me because I say draft a mean SOB gorilla 800-pound trash can full of dirt to plug up the middle to stop the run. And people keep telling me, nah, man, you're wrong. You're wrong. But I'm telling you, I've been wanting that for so long. You know, when Calais Campbell was a free agent, I said, that's the guy to go get that will change the attitude and the direction of that defensive line. And people said, he's too old. He's too expensive. He only gets 6 or 7 sacks a season. Yeah, every season. And it's crazy because you know what happened with him in Jacksonville? I think that season got like 13 and a half sacks, was runner-up in MVP, defensive MVP. You think the Cowboys could have used somebody like that on the defensive line? Who is still playing lights out now, 3 years later, even though he's getting older. Because it's great to be fast. Because, see, I look at myself. I played nose tackle. Nose guard, actually, excuse me. It wasn't nose tackle, then it was nose guard. I lined up over the center. We'd shade a little to the left or we'd shade a little to the right, but I'm right there. I was about 220 pounds. If we were stunting, if you told me get between the guard and the center and shoot the gap, bam, I'm right there. Every time. It would frustrate, and I know I said that wrong, and it probably frustrates you that I can't say frustration correctly. But just deal with it, okay? Just deal with it. Stop being my wife, who says I'm banned from using that word. So don't tell her I used it. I could shoot that gap, and it would make the offensive lineman crazy because they couldn't stop me because I was quick. But here's the thing. When they have me stunt into a double team where I got Kenny Dalton and Steve Ham coming at me, pinching, I didn't have the meat to drop an anchor. I'm back there in the secondary behind the safety because I'm getting blown out the hole. And then you can drive a truck through that. And that's what happens a lot of times with our defensive players. They get caught in stunts. Sometimes you just got to be able to man the F up and be able to hold your spot when you're going against a team that is just trying to run it up the gut. You can't get cute. You got to go medieval. But here's the thing about Chris Richard. Because I was watching last night before I fell asleep during the game. James Nooks, thank you very much. Am I going to the game? No, I'm not. I wish I was going. I miss Detroit. I haven't been to Detroit in quite a while. We used to go to Detroit Thanksgiving every year, United Way halftime show. But no, I'm not going to be there. I'm not sure what game I'll be going to next. I've had to take care of a whole lot of business and stuff and things, and got to get my money. My money's a little funny, if you know what I mean. But thank you very much, though, for that super chat. But Chris Richard was asked about Awuzie. Well, what's going on with him and stuff. Instead of saying, that guy just sucks, he just can't seem to get it right, he has the option of, somebody else called the plays, we didn't communicate, and it's like, no, it's my fault because I did not get him in a position to succeed. I did not coach him as well. I need to work better with that guy. You know what? I can respect that because people fail all the time. I fail a lot. Money team, thank you very much for that super chat. You know what I'm talking about when you're talking about going medieval. Now, I'm not talking medieval like Myles Garrett yesterday, okay? Not that kind of medieval, but medieval during the play where it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? But own up to it. Don't go, well Kellen Moore's calling the plays. Don't look at me. Special teams coach there was miscommunication over there. You know what? You're supposed to be the head guy in charge. And if I'm in charge and I'm on the hot seat, you know what? I'm going to act like at least I'm in charge. I'm going to be in there and saying, hey, listen, here's what we're going to do. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory doing it the way my way. I can respect that. But this whole thing of, it wasn't me. It's like Shaggy, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. You know what? If you're going to be the man, be the man. Take charge then. If that's what you're going to do. Don't be this, I'm going to do stuff and then I'm going to hide. Man up. Man up. Michael, thank you very much for that super chat. Dak is being held back from his full potential. Dude, you literally hit the nail on the head. The fact that this team, okay, well, let's think about this. The fact that this team is getting the yardage that they're getting. Did you listen to Skip there on some of the stuff? I know it's hard to listen to Skip. It's hard to believe that he's actually, no, I don't trust the process, Jason Garrett. No, I don't trust it because we've been trusting it for all these years. We've seen Tony Romo's career go down the toilet and see him beat up, kicked to the curb and left in the damn gutter under you, okay? So don't give me trust the process. What, I'm going to watch the same thing? Dak Prescott go down the toilet for more years? We've already had 4 seasons now of Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, and the best offensive line in football, and you haven't busted a grape. So I ain't trusting shit, okay? Nothing. Excuse my language, Joseph. It's just, I know it's not the real Jason Garrett, but I wish it was so I could at least put out there how I really feel. Because I look and see some great players. I've seen so many Pro Bowlers on this team. I've seen guys that you're just saying, wow. And yet I see teams that have less talent, less Pro Bowl players, that do less on the field number-wise, that are winning Super Bowls. And I say to myself, when, Lord? When, Lord, is it going to be our time? When? You know how pathetic it is. Because you know what? You're going to set me off. Since the last freaking time the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, you know what we've seen in that time? We've seen teams that were the dreads of the NFL go to the Super Bowl and win them. I'm talking about teams like the Rams, you know, the greatest show on turf. I'm talking about the creamsicle Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to the Super Bowl win. We're talking about the ringless wonder, the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, I've seen them personally twice in the Super Bowl. Twice. Do you know how much that hurts as a Dallas Cowboy fan? I have seen the New York stinking Giants, at least they beat the New England Patriots, twice in the Super Bowl. Twice. Live and in person. The original Bad Gang, the New Orleans Saints, win Super Bowls. I have seen the Colts, who hadn't won a Super Bowl since they beat us in Super Bowl V when I was a little kid this tall. I have seen Tom frickin' Brady win, what, 6? So hell no, I ain't trusting the process. You know, they always talk about, you know, Dak Prescott needs those guys to see. No, it's not Dak Prescott. It's not Dak frickin' Prescott. It's Jason Garrett who needs to have everything perfect, okay, and going according to plan in order to win. Because once something gets thrown in there, once you lose a player, Jason Garrett, you don't win, okay? We show up and everyone play their part. No, they're not playing their part because you're not getting the victories. When you have the best, somebody stop me. Somebody hold me back. Please hold me back, because I'm about to get medieval up in here. Because you know what? North Carolina's biggest fan, thank you very much for Super Chat. You know what really, the kind of things that really and truly just piss me the hell off, just piss me the hell, and this is where it should have been, you're gone right here, right now. It's 2015. 2015 is the year that really, 8-8 was bad. I know 8-8 because you had like basically 2 weeks in a row that if you just win one game in 2 weeks, you're in the playoffs. Those hurt. But it was really 2015 that really is the kicker here. The fact that you lost Tony Romo and you won one stinking MFing game. Just one freaking game. Because you couldn't take another quarterback, a guy like Brandon Wheaton, who's been in your system for over a year, and win one freaking game? Not one freaking game? Get the hell out of here. I see Brandon Wheaton then all of a sudden go to the Texans, and a week's practice wins 2 games, and you had him for a year? You couldn't do jack with him? Come on, man. And don't play, or is that Dak's fault? That's Dak Prescott's fault. It was because Dak was going to be coming the next year that's it's not your fault. And that's the other thing that drives. Because you know what? Because see, this is where you're a little weasel up in there too. Because every time there was problems in that locker room or problems on the field, I remember when Greg Hardy goes off. He goes after another coach. You know where you went the other direction. The other direction. When you had Dez Bryant in the locker room going after reporters and stuff, you walked in and then you walked right back out. Do you think a Bill Parcells would do that? Because Bill Parcells would go up to you, get in your face, and tell you to sit your ass down. He'd pull a Charles Haley on him. Sit your ass down and do what the F I say, because I am the one in charge. And this weasel stuff that we do, about, oh, it wasn't me, I didn't do the play calling. No. Your job is to protect the players. You're supposed to be the lightning rod that is supposed to be running the team and says, you know what, I'm going to keep these guys protected. I'm going to be the head MFer in charge. I'm going to take the heat. And you know what happens when you do stuff like that? That's when your team rallies behind it and says, hey, man, this guy's got my back. But when you're a little weasel out there and you go ahead and say, well, Austin had the option, and Dak had 2 calls, because you did that to Tony Romo even. It's not just Dak. Because during the catch, no catch, when it started blowing back on you like, well, it was only 4th and 1. Why didn't you go for the whole thing? Well, he had the option to do it. No. Be a man and own up to that crap. I don't do the play calling. I'm not on the field. I allow everyone. Then you're not a coach then. if you just allow everybody to play their position, no, then you are the one that's supposed to be guiding it. Then if that's the case, then you know what? We don't need you. We don't need you then. Ryan Kirk, thank you very much for the super chat. If that's all you do, because then tell me, Jason Garrett. Okay, we're going to pretend that you're the real Jason Garrett. Okay, Jason, if it's Kellen Moore calling the plays, okay, if it's Rod Barnelli taking care of the defense, okay, if it's the special team coach over there screwing up, and our special teams, by the way, our special teams suck. Our special teams suck. We are basically 27 and back on everything special teams. See, special teams are supposed to be where you can get a little, jump ahead, get some good field position. But if you look at our starting field position, we have some of the worst starting field position in the NFL. Other teams, not so much. You look at the first play that the Vikings had. They got the ball on the 47-yard line because we missed the freaking field goal. So if they all do that, then what the hell do I need you for? What do I need you for? Let's just let the inmates run the asylum. Because if you don't call the plays, if you're not overseeing to make sure that everything goes right on the field and just kind of checking up behind them and letting them make the plays, then what do you do? We need we need to execute better. You know how you execute better? By teaching the guys what they need to do. By putting them in positions to win. Because if you're saying that these guys are making the calls that are having a direct, Universal King, you got a question? What's your question? If you're the guy that's making the call or letting these guys make the call that is directly whether or not you're the process now. You're an idiot. That's what this guy, whoever you are behind the Jason Garrett name, you're an idiot. Because before you're saying it's everybody else, now you're saying you are the process. Okay, well, I don't trust the process, okay? Screw the process. How about that? Ravens are the best team, though, Mark. Garrett is Marvin Lewis of the... You know what? Marvin Lewis at least had a defensive mind. I motivate men. Yeah, okay. Garrett knows he's just a cheerleader. You know what? Here's what Jason Garrett. There is no coach that has been given the leeway that he has, other than Marvin Lewis. But they finally got rid of him. They finally realized, well, it just isn't. No coach gets 10 years in the same place. Every single coach that has been there since 2010 in the same location has won at least one Super Bowl. And that is a fact. Jason Garrett is the only one that hasn't even been to a championship game, much less a Super Bowl. I wish that was different. Believe me, I wish that were different. I wish that I could be here praising Jason Garrett and the coaching job that he's doing. But unfortunately, I see us wasting players like we've been doing. You had Dez Bryant at his peak. You had Tony Romo, incredible season. You had the NFL leading rusher. You had the best offensive line in football. Not Travis Frederick coming back from the Guillain-Barré syndrome. Not Zach Martin, who was on a bad knee. Not Tyron Smith, who was a shell of himself that gets injured. You had all of those guys healthy, ready to go. Best offensive line of football. Best running back in football. Tony Romo, lights out. And a defense that was second in the NFL taking the ball away. And yet, nothing. So, why should we continue to trust? You fool me once, shame on you. You fool me twice, it's shame on me. And I'm just not, I got no choice. I got no choice but to live with him being my coach, because until he's fired, he is my coach. I could hope and pray that he finally gets it, that something happens. Maybe a UFO comes out the sky, abducts him, and all of a sudden puts in, a Bill Parcells brain or something into him and sends us back to the Dallas Cowboys, and he gets it together. Yeah, top 10. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna pull a Shannon Sharp on you. Okay, skip. Yep, top 10 offense and defense and a 5-4 record. Yep. You just wasting all that talent. You just made my point. Sadly, you might be right about that. That you're not going to be fired. You just won't be re-signed. How about that? I'll take that. I'll take that. So anyway, now that I've wasted 30 minutes with Jason freaking Garrett on here, I hope you enjoyed yourself. If we lose to the Lions, do we fire Garrett? If I tell you what, if we lose to the Lions without Matthew Stafford, and he doesn't get fired, then he knows where all the bodies are buried. He must literally know, like, he's got like the access codes for like all of Jerry Jones's money or something or other. Because if that were to happen, and the Cowboys went 5-5, that would be, yeah, then that would be the reason right then and there. Just yeah. But I will say that, oh shit. You know, we had 2 games against the Lions that we were up by 21 points and lost them. And I'll actually say things changed. Jason, Jason, you and I we've seen each other before. In fact, we saw each other on a regular basis until last year. Every year at the NFL Commissioner's Party, there's Jerry Jones, there's Stephen Jones, and there you always were at the table with them. That was until last year. Last year, you weren't there, which was kind of like an aha moment for me, because that was right after Stephen Jones gave you the side eye after you had your end of the season Little League speech. That speech where it's kind of like, guys, you did a great job. I love the way you participated. Everybody, Johnny, we know that you only got in there for 2 plays, but those 2 plays were magnificent. Even though we lost, 58-2, I love the work that you guys do. Here's your participation trophy. When Jason Garrett did that one at the end of the season, I'm proud of the way our guys competed. We got out there. We ended up playing well. We just fell a little bit short, against the Rams. And, maybe if we had a little more time, we would have done well. But we don't anticipate making any changes. And that's when Stephen Jones kind of gave you the... Say what? Say what? Stephen Jones kind of gave you that side eye, like, whoa. You satisfied with just winning 1 playoff game? And that's when Stephen Jones made him fire Scott Linehan. Yeah. That's when things changed. He'll make it through the season. But I think this is going to be finally it. I really do. Anyway, back to our topic, because now I've talked all this time about Jason Garrett, and I was trying to get to our Detroit Lions game that we have this weekend coming up. And this game is key. It's big, okay? What are our chances against the Lions? The chances against the Lions are always good, okay? The Lions are a bad team, even with Matthew Stafford. Let's be honest, okay? For some reason, Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in the history of football, it seems. But the guys that leave there, not so much. Take a look at the guys that he's had, like Mangini, even though Tony Soprano called him Mangenius. Yeah, he had like 1 good season, he looks like my father-in-law. Real big brother, big Big brother, looked like a grizzly bear, just like my father-in-law. He was with the Bears there for a while, and I think Tampa Bay. Yeah, damn, I can't remember. But he didn't do too well. Even his offensive coordinator, when he went to Denver and thought that Tim Tebow was the guy. Okay? His coaching disciples aren't good. And that's where the Lions are. The Lions are like the Cleveland Browns. Regardless of the hype that you get, you know, you got Faker Mayfield and, you know, Myles Garrett, and he's now suspended. And Baker Mayfield, he looks like, you know, he wants to be anywhere. You can put him on a Southwest commercials. You want to get away. It's so bad that even Odell Beckham's not even talking anymore. That's how bad they are. You know, it's just kind of like, why bother? Why bother? It's even broke down Odell Beckham. Universal King, yes. What? You were going to ask me a question. What? What's the question? I'm sorry, I missed it, man. Jason Garrett got me ticked. I see Joseph Time deleted his message. I don't know what he said, but must have ticked him off. Universal King, I'm waiting. Enough of Jason Garrett. Stafford is not better than Dak. I never said he was. Who said that one? Universal King, you didn't. You didn't what? What? You said you want to ask me a question. What's the question, man? Come on, man. You got my attention. I already answered. Now I'm sitting here wondering what it was now. Man. Okay. The topic for tonight, now that we are 37 minutes into this, is Zeke Elliott, who's been known as the Dallas Cowboys' best player. Is he still the Dallas Cowboys' best player? And should they continue to do what they've been doing, Jason Garrett, which is just run the hell out of the ball. Damn the torpedoes, we're just going to run the ball. We're going to be a ground and pound team. The question is, how come we do so well in the season, then we fall apart because Jason Garrett does a poor job coaching? Well, understand this. Here's the thing. Even between the good teams and the bad teams, the difference between winning usually is you can probably pick out about 5 plays that make the difference in every single game. Okay? And I'll tell you just one play that would have made the difference in this game altogether. And it's not running Zeke Elliott in the end zone. One play. If the Cowboys either had punted the football or made the field goal on that first drive, it would have been a different game. Because had they made that field goal, then you're kicking off. The Vikings have to now start out probably on the 25-yard line. That's 20 yards further they would have had to go. You've got to score as opposed to giving them the ball on the 47-yard line. And here's the big kicker. Had they made that field goal, we don't need a touchdown to win the game. In which case, if you were running Zeke Elliott down there and getting stopped, well, it's okay because we're going to kick the field goal with no time left. That one play was the difference between winning and losing. Just that one. And you can go back to, trying to remember which other game it was that we missed another field goal that was like that, where Green Bay, I think it was. Had we made that field goal, instead of needing a touchdown at the end, a field goal wins it or ties it. I can't remember what it was, but you follow what I'm saying. So understand that if you have the coach make a couple mistakes will kill you every time. Think about it. That field goal. Think about it. The punt return. If we get 20 yards in that punt return, you got a better chance of getting in the end zone. Think about it. Had we maybe on third down passed the ball or, had Dak run outside, it's 3 plays right there. That's the difference between winning and losing. And you could probably go through the New Orleans game and say there's a couple plays if we had gotten right, you win that game. And that's the thing. You cannot be handicapped by mistakes that the coaches make. You just can't. You just can't. And that's where you need your coach to understand down and distance. He needs to understand clock management. He needs to understand situation. He needs to be creative, because the difference of Tom Landry beating people was he was an innovator. He always found something new. He went to small black colleges getting talent, so he had more talented players than others. He took Bob Bullet Hayes, who was a track star, and made him a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He came up with the shift. The offensive line would go up. And see, a lot of people don't realize we used to do that same move in high school, even though we were in the D.C. area. But what we used to do with that shift was we would actually move over about 4 inches, in or out. So you're getting up to the line of scrimmage, you're lined up, you're just basically cheating the holes. So if it was going to be like a 31Z and it's coming, I'm the guard, and it's coming right in my butt, I'm going to cheat out about 4 inches just to give it a little more of a crease. He came up with a shotgun, which everybody uses. And see, you look at coaches that come through and are successful. Joe Gibbs, one back offense, right? Came through, innovated. San Francisco 49ers, West Coast offense. Boom, successful. You could even look at Jerry Glanville for a hot minute with the run and shoot. No, not run. Yeah, run and shoot. Okay. You can look at Buffalo with the K-gun. How tall am I? 5'10" is how tall I am. And about the same around as well. So you look at all of these coaches that come up with wrinkles. Think about Miami when they came up with the Wildcat. What wrinkle have you ever seen the Dallas Cowboys ever come up with? What new thing have you ever seen? What game have you ever gone through and you say, oh my God, Jason Garrett, that's freaking incredible? You don't. We're stuck on stupid. We're stuck on the offense that basically was back from the 90s. That's where we are. Mark, answer my question. Mad Cowboy fan here. What is your question, James? I'm sorry, it's hard to see these because these fly by. I keep saying, can I answer your question? When you put that up there, write the question there so that way I see it, because then I got to go back, and I don't see it. Dak isn't slow. Dak is not slow. James, I don't see your question, man. Stuck on retard, yeah. The trolls, they just love attention. They just love attention. I hate to say it, but they do. I'm still trying to find your question, man. You just said 3 times, answer your questions, James, but I don't see the damn question.
See, at that point, I'll block you first.
I'm going back through here, and I'm going to tell you, Jason Garrett, you don't want to piss off Joseph Heatherly, because you do know he's Wyatt Earp, and he will shoot your ass. Okay, James, I've been gone way back here before Jason Garrett was let out. You're going to have to write the question again if you want me to answer it, or are you just pulling my leg? Are you trolling me? That's what you're doing. You're trolling me, aren't you? It's our slow start. Yeah, that's another one that goes back to coaching. Because, we always used to script like the first 20 plays. So that way you go ahead and, know what you're going to be doing. You work on those things. You have them down pat. Come Sunday, you know what exactly we're going to do. We are going to be killing it to start the game. I don't know what the hell we're doing. I don't know. And why the hell we can't seem to get takeaways in football, I don't understand that one either. If we could get a couple of takeaways in the game, it would be. Why is the Patriots? Why do they have the best record? Because they play nobody. They got 3 stiffs in their division.
They have an easy schedule this year.
My first thought when Jason Garrett got hired, it was kind of like this kind of a moment, actually. It was kind of like this. It was kind of like, just insert Jason Garrett, because it's like, Jason Garrett who? Then when Jason Garrett was hired as offensive coordinator, I was kind of like, okay, all right. You know, he was a quarterback, and, you know, he was quarterback coach of Miami. Okay, I was okay with that. But when they hired him at coach, I was kind of like, well, wait a minute. I was actually like, hold up. Wasn't he the coach of the offense when we weren't doing jack and losing? So it's like, he should have gone with Wade Phillips. That was my take.
Yeah,
that was my take, that just start all over. So the fact that and I was willing to give it time because I figured it was going to be on-the-job training. Well, that should have been about 2 years. If you hadn't gotten it by 5 years, then you weren't going to get it. That's my take on it. But then again, you know, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. You knew we were doomed. You know, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt because it's one of those things that you don't necessarily know who's going to be good. How many people? Okay, now I'm going to raise my hand. I wanted the Cowboys to draft Dak Prescott. People will say you were a liar, but no, I did. From the first time I saw Dak Prescott, I looked at him and I saw some Tony Romo traits in him, the way he had escapability, the way he could keep his eyes downfield under pressure. And I looked at him and said, he can take a hit better than Tony Romo because he's built like a linebacker. And he could run. Mark, answer my question now, mad Cowboy fan here. James, you're ticking me off now, James, because I have not seen the damn question. Listen, the next time you write that, write the question there. I see all the grumpy faces and stuff, but I don't see a question. So until you go ahead and say, Mark, answer my question now, mad Cowboy fan here with grumpy faces, blah, 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 blah. Don't come at me like that. I got things that are flying. These comments are flying through, dog. They're flying through. You understand? I got a computer here in front of me. I got a computer over there. I got a computer over here. I got a computer over here. I got 1, 2, 3 different cell phones. All this is going on. I'm trying to carry on a conversation and read the comments. I can't scroll back, dog. I can't. I just can't. So if you're going to put that up there, write the question, okay? I'm more than happy to. Lord. You just fucking with me. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, Joseph. You're just messing with me tonight, right? Because you know I'm tired. You know I'm tired. I just drove 154 miles to get home in the dark, knowing that I'm old and can't judge distance anymore, okay, to get here. I'm hangry now because I haven't had dinner. And now you mess with me. Our low kicks super chat. Thank you very much for that. Why hasn't Jerry Jones been on the field in years? Good question. Well, Jerry, I don't think, here's the thing. I don't think Jerry does as much running the team like he used to, you know. Jerry, you know, used to always get on the field. Jerry Jones, if you ever do the stadium tour, you'll find out that Jerry Jones has got that big suite where it fits like 150 people and all that stuff. But there's also an elevator that goes right above it to his GM suite, which is a small, intimate suite that's got a phone that goes down the field. But you don't see him up in there anymore. You don't see him on the field. And I think that it's really, he's not running the stuff like he used to. And I think as far as, you know, he'll have the final say, but it's really Stephen Jones that has taken more and more control of the team. And that's where I think, you know, give you an example. He loved Des Bryant, still loves Des Bryant, still has a good relationship with Des Bryant. But it was really Stephen Jones, and I'm going to say Dak Prescott, that said, no, man. And that's why it ended up being, and Jerry Jones was the one that let Des know he wanted it to be, you know, at least coming from him. JB the Rapper, thank you very much for that super chat. Zeke is bad, guys. Get someone like Mark Ingram that cares about. You know, here's the thing, Raven fan. Okay, I know you guys are coming out the woodwork. It's amazing how when teams start winning, they start coming out the woodwork. Michael Cardia, thank you very much for that super chat. Thank you. That's the problem is the Cowboys keep when they run Zeke. Every single time, the play looks like it's exactly the same, a dive up the middle. And that's the problem. People know on first down, you're going to run Zeke Elliott, dive on the middle. And teams combat it. What you need to do is understand, the Rams took a trashy quarterback in Jared Goff and made him look incredible because they were screening the hell out of the football. We don't use play action enough. We don't screen the ball. Okay? We don't use other weapons. We still are stuck on just a few plays. And I think back to Kellen Moore saying that, no, we don't really have that many different plays. We're just going to do it out of different formations. And here maybe in lies the problem. The pennant, oh, I'm sorry, Zeppelin fan. Because I was going to be out of town on Wednesday, I called him up and said, hey, I'm not going to be here on Wednesday. They kind of slowed down. So I'm supposed to see him next week, I think on Wednesday. I need to call him on Monday. So I'll be going through there and doing another video with him. Right now, Christian, I'm just at the point of I'll take a ham sandwich over Jerry Jones. Over Jason Garrett. I think at some point you have to have change just because you need change, because you need to go in a different direction. You need to have people say, oh, okay, I've got to impress this guy now. You need to change what you're doing so that way teams don't know what you're going to do, to be a little less predictable. And I think you need to have I personally would love to actually have Chris Richard as our head coach, because I think him being in charge, that he's going to be a disciplinarian, that he's going to instill a lot of passion on the field. And see, here's the thing that I believe in. Arlo Kicks, thank you very much for the super chat. Cowboys got to get together. My mother is a huge Cowboy fan and is breaking every time the Cowboys lose in the playoffs or don't make it. Man, dog, I'm with you with your mother, man. I'm with you. It kills me every year. Every freaking year. And then every year I'm at the Super Bowl watching, the Patriots or the Eagles or the Giants or the Rams, and I'm sick and tired of this, man. It hurts. It truly hurts that every freaking year is a letdown. And we never did get to what I was going to talk about tonight. Michael Bennett proved that no big-time players want to be Dallas. Dude has his contract changed so he could get out of here the next year.
No, he doesn't know if he's going to play football next year.
No, Michael Bennett, not...
Yes, I'm saying Michael Bennett took the one-year option because he's not sure if he wants to play football next year, not because he didn't want to be with Dallas.
Yeah, well...
He's unsure about what he's going to do next year. That's why I took the one-year deal.
James Conner, I'm on to you, dog. I'm on to you. Ha-ha.
Watch the interview.
Dallas likes to abandon players. They put them in for plays and then don't count. And see, that's another one of those things that drives me crazy is why aren't we using, Zeke Elliott, if we keep running him into the brick wall, is going to end up being Todd Gurley. This is where you have Pollard run a few plays, let Zeke Elliott catch his breath, so when he comes back out on the field that he's ready to rock and roll. When you run into the brick wall over and over and over again, you wear down. And you can't wear him down, because that's what they did to DeMarco Murray that one year. They just ran him till the wheels fell off and kind of said bye-bye, and he was never really the same. And this is where, to me, if you're doing something that's working, you keep doing it till it's not. And Amari Cooper, and we're going to get to this before we get out of here. I'm going to have to say a few minutes late. Here's the thing. Here's Zeke Elliott's stats. Okay? or not this season. Okay, there they are. It's been kind of up and down because we've had 53 yards, 111, 126, or 125, 35, 62, 105, 111, 139, and 47. It's been up and down, right? It's not consistent. And you know, I mean, we've had some games where, you know, Miami, of course, 6.58 was great, but then New Orleans, 1.94. You know, Green Bay was actually pretty good, but we only ran the ball 12 times, 5.7. And then, of course, the Giants, 6.4. But when we played good defenses and things, not so much. Or the Jets, 3.7. But if we go through and we look at Amari Cooper, and I ask you, who has stopped Amari Cooper all season? The only thing that stopped Amari Cooper has been injuries and the coaching staff. Because as you look at this, okay, he's got more touchdowns than Zeke does. You look at this, 106 yards, 44, 88, 48, 226. That's where he got hurt, 106, 80, 147. But look at this. Almost every game, one touchdown, two touchdowns. None against New Orleans, but he still ended up having not a bad game. Green Bay got a touchdown. New York Giants got a touchdown. Minnesota got a touchdown. And Dak Prescott has had a hot hand. So instead of us being run first, and you're looking at Amari Cooper, who has been phenomenal, second best receiver in the NFL, even though he's missed a game because of injury, why not go ahead and say, you know what? We're going to live with the pass. We're going to come out here, pass the football. And we're going to use that to set up the run. Because I guarantee you, if you keep going at Amari Cooper and he has games like he had last week, at some point you got to say, we got to double cover him. Maybe even triple cover him. And when you start having to do that, then you start using him as a decoy. You need to start using Zeke. If you're going to run on first down, okay, fake the dive. Let Dak take off on a naked bootleg. You have to do some things to keep the defense guessing. Right now, we don't keep anybody guessing. Melvin Batts, to all you complaining Cowboy fans about how bad Dak is, please give him us, and we'll give you all three of our Haskins, Keenum, McCoy. Listen to that. Redskin fans, like, I'll give you every quarterback we got to take Dak. They see, and that's funny. The big thing this week was some idiot on ESPN was basically saying that Kyler Murray was one of the best quarterbacks under 30 and doesn't even have Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott, but has Jimmy Garoppolo up there. And so I asked earlier today people about Jimmy Garoppolo. Would you rather have Jimmy Garoppolo? Because there's some of you guys out there, I hate to say it, but you're freaking idiots. Or you don't really understand football because you've listened to the talking heads so much that you think that every game is, if the team wins, automatically it's because the quarterback is a great quarterback. And if they lose, it's because the quarterback stinks. But that's not always the case. Now, there are cases where the quarterback does win games for you. Okay? You know, when you look at, say, a Dan Marino who didn't have any running backs and stuff, Dan Marino truly won games for you because it was his arm and they were lighting up the scoreboard and things. But there's other cases where you have teams that win Super Bowls with, like, Trent Dilfer. Or, like, you know, Baltimore winning with Joe Flacco. I can't honestly look and say Joe Flacco did some incredible things. You know, he did have one of the best historic defenses in history. And I'll say it's more because of that defense. I'll look at Eli Manning and say it was more about that defense than what Eli Manning was doing. Because you look at the body of work of Eli Manning without that great defense, it's not that good. It's really not. It's really just 2 good years. So people look at Jimmy Garoppolo, oh my God, the 49ers, look, he was injured last year. They were garbage. This year, he's not injured. He's great. They're 9-1. Because people are going like, yeah, I'll take Jimmy Garoppolo because he's a winner. Dak Prescott sucks. And I'm kind of like, do you actually watch football? Do you? So don't be that guy. Don't be the freaking idiot guy that's out there because, quite frankly, It's because they can run the football. It's because they had a fourth-place schedule. It's because they've got a great defense. It's not Jimmy Garoppolo is just like elevating the team, because if you go over Jimmy Garoppolo's stats, they're really nothing special. He's got 14 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions, okay? His QBR for the season right now, wait, let me get it right now. Well, he's only averaging 8 yards a game. Arlo Kicks, thank you very much for that super chat. He's only averaging 228 yards a game. Our quarterback is averaging 308. 80 yards more per game Dak is throwing. He's also throwing the ball a yard further every completion than Jimmy Garoppolo. He also has a higher completion percentage than Jimmy Garoppolo. So you guys, don't be an idiot. Understand the numbers at least. Okay? At least, if you're going to come in and say something, don't look like an idiot. I don't want you to look like an idiot. Please don't look like an idiot. Mark, I got a super chat with a good question. Okay. I'm sorry. If you could have any coach for the Cowboys, who would it be? Right now, I would take a young Jimmy Johnson if I could again, but that's not going to happen. Like I said, right now, I would actually like to see Chris Richard as our head coach, because I think head coach without people interfering, letting him actually be the coach and pick the people that he'd have around him. Because more than anything else, I've said this, and I truly believe this, players emulate their leader. If you have a coach who is, mean, evil, and nasty, that team's going to play mean, evil, and nasty with that chip on the shoulder. If you have a coach who is more cerebral, you're going to have a team that's more that way. If you got a coach that's kind of wishy-washy, it's kind of the way it is too. If Wentz had Cooper, we'd be undefeated. Facts. I don't know about that. Because, we do lead the NFL in drop passes, too. You guys understand that. Although, Shannon Sharp will say, well, because he's late delivering the ball. Skip. Head coach. Eagles head coach is overrated. Yeah. Urban Myers would be interesting. Of course, everybody's talking about Lincoln Riley. But that's, honestly, going from college to the pros is really, it's a crapshoot, It's really a crapshoot. You never know. But I think having just any kind of change in philosophy would be good. Dak is way better than Wentz. I have to, you Cowboy fan up north, you won't get any disagreement from me on that one. Dallas has to have more. That you think? Dallas has to. You got to go with the hot hand. Arlo Kicks, thank you again for that super chat. And I have to agree with you. Getting rid of Jimmy Johnson was the stupidest thing Jerry ever did. Except maybe keeping Jason Garrett. That's kind of stupid, too. And hiring Barry Switzer. That's got to go up there as well. And also talking about wanting some glory holes. That has to kind of go up there. Getting Joey Galloway, 2 number ones, that's another one that kind of has to go up there. And Roy Williams too. I'm sorry, I digress. Corey Daniels, amen. And see, this is where I got killed because I kept saying that Dak Prescott, him and Russell Wilson, from the time he was drafted, I said he reminded me a lot of Russell Wilson. And when I was comparing him and saying that look for the 4th year, the fourth year is when Russell Wilson really took off and became that quarterback that really could throw. And it's kind of interesting because when Russell Wilson first came out, they had beast mode. They were really a running team with a great defense, and that's why they went to the Super Bowls and won. It wasn't because of Russell Wilson's arm. He didn't lose the games for it. If you want to say he was a game manager, he was a game manager. But then beast mode, ate too many Skittles and ended up, leaving after the Super Bowl and everything else. And they were forced to become a passing team. And he went from those like 3,500 yard seasons to all of a sudden going over 4,000 yards, 35, 36 touchdowns. Mark V, thank you. I don't know why we don't throw screens. I don't know why we don't run our quarterback from time to time. I don't understand why we do a lot. You the man, Mark Holmes. Go get some food and have a great night. Okay, yeah, it is actually a little bit late here, and I have not seen my wife the last 2 days. See, understand, look, guys, I put you ahead of my wife. Don't tell her I said that, but I did, okay? Because I was trying to show you the love. Sunday, we will be at Lucky's Sports Bar to watch the game, and Jet D's going to be coming and bringing me some beef brisket. Right, Jet D? Beef brisket? You're slow cooking for 12 hours tomorrow? Right? Yeah, isn't that what you said, Jet? I think that's what you told me. But I want to leave you with this.
But winners worry about winning, and losers worry about winners. So we're focused on ourselves in this locker room about what we need to do to get better each and every phase of this game and be ready for this week. We're not worried about he say, she say.
All right, so guys, I appreciate everybody who's been in here. Thank you so much for all the super chats and everything else. I am going to go spend some time with my wife here because I have not seen her for the last 2 days. And I still have the Cowboys at 11-5. Yes, I do. And until they can't be 11-5, I'm going to keep them at 11-5. Because here's the thing. As much as we've been pounding on Jason Garrett all day, all week, and everything else, Jason Garrett is a survivor. Every time you think Jason Garrett is done, he's just like, one of those massacre movies that you think that, that she's dead in the bathtub. We got her. You relax. It's finally it. And then she comes out with the knife because she's not dead. Jason Garrett's not dead, and he will rise again until you shoot him again and again. And again. All right, y'all. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. I will see you guys first thing in the morning with Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.
Say what?
Michael Ben only restructured his contract because he wasn't sure if he was going to play football next year, not because he wanted to get out of Dallas.
Well, he was making it easier for the Cowboys.
I mean, true. If you watch the interview, that's what he said in the interview. I'm not sure if I want to still play football next year.
Yeah.
It's not that he want to get out of Dallas. He's not sure he want to play football. That's how stupid people are.
Well, you know what? It was crazy because I had that guy, somebody who was pretending to be Jason Garrett. In fact, I think it's the same guy. So he started a Twitter account. So he's like, everywhere I go, there's this Jason Garrett guy, and he was looking for attention. And I trust the process, this, that, and the other. And it's just like, dude, I don't trust the process. Yeah, I really.
Jason Garrett actually had a page, it'll probably be a burner account.
Yeah, it wouldn't be actually Jason Garrett, but I don't know, man. I so want the Cowboys to succeed. I would love to see Jason Garrett be able to hold up that Lombardi trophy and say, you know what, and put a middle finger up. But I just don't think it's going to happen.
Afterwards, every coach that we had that won a Super Bowl, they ended up getting fired.
Well, we only had two that won Super Bowls, so I mean that's a small sample, okay. I'd like to find out. I wish that were going to be Jason Garrett.
Technically had 3, but the other one.
Oh.
We technically had 3, but I'm not going to
I'm still on, aren't I?
I'm not going to talk about Tom Landry. They did him wrong.
Okay. Forgot to turn it off. Sorry, guys.
They did Tom Landry wrong.
Yeah, I'm still on. I was actually sitting here talking to Michael Anthony. Okay, so you got overtime. Shingle suck. That was worth still staying on for. Shingle suck. Screen mark, screen. All right.